And you're not, well, you're aware, your government's running your news media, by the way, all of them. Let you know what you're supposed to be talking about, not some of the other things. No. Are they showing you any of the miracles God's been performing all over the place lately? No. No. Showing all the other stuff. But there's miracles happening all over. Little ones, little bigger ones, little bigger ones. For the convincing and astonishment of those that are in the doubt. Calmness in the heart, in the mind, and in the spleen is necessary. Because the spleen holds a unique ability for anger. What it seems to be is a justification for defense of the heart chakra. So you have to be careful now. And that's why we mentioned before, if you listen to your body, organs, you'll know what food to eat for the calmness within the self-structure. Because you're a divine mechanism being awakened, and you have a duty to perform, whether you think you do or not. You're going to find out that you do. And it's not for yourself. It's for others, or another one or two. For they're waking up. And then they wake up another two, and then another two, and another two, and another two. And that's how children are supposed to learn how to be mothers and fathers from their mother and father. But most likely in your world it's what not to do, as it becomes apparent now. Apparent meaning appearing. Parents forgot how to parent. Been led that way. Been led that way. They figure feed them, this will take care of itself. Sure will. There's a responsibility there, bringing forth creation. There's a desire to create. Having brought it forth, you're responsible for it. Or not. Well, you're going to find out. Because as you treat your creation, so is your Creator going to treat you. Well, that's the expectation of your privilege. Now you turn free will. Do what I want to do. There will be no one to complain to as this begins to unfold now more. Months are going to get active. I'm telling you this not to frighten you. I'm telling you this so when it happens you'll know what you're doing. Center, pray, peace to all beings, stabilize. Focus on your skeleton. You know what it looks like. Stabilize that piece. The overlays come together, breathe, and then think about what you're supposed to do. And that means look at what responsibilities you have and take care of them. first and foremost. And then your freedom of space widens. You're no longer under the jurisdiction of time, where you have to get something done before this or that. And that's how time has trapped you. The calendar isn't even correct, actually. The movements of what you call space. But that change will come about a little more slowly. Because you're really different beings than you think you are. You came from somewhere to here for a reason. It's all part of a plan. A great plan. It takes time to get the puzzle pieces in the correct positions because of the ability of the puzzle pieces to have free will. And when one leaves, another needs to be put into position. You're in the mode now of what understanding thy will and your will be done means. Nature is your scheduler. The wind keeps the time. You would realize that if you knew what your wind chimes really were for, besides just ting-donging for you. But you've lost your connections to the deeper forces of nature, particularly the water. And that's the shameful thing, because you're killing all the sea creatures. And what you're going to find out is that the sea creatures swimming in the sea, it's helping the earth to spin. And if it stops spinning, you're all going to fly off. That's those cities in the sky astral thing. But you don't know how to live there yet either. So that's the confusion you're coming into now. But to be unconfused, remember your skeleton. Your bone will have memory of you. The skull will have memory of you. That's why the black magicians like to mess around with skulls from the ground, skeletal bones. They know that part anyway. The memory thing. That's all they know. But your bones have a memory of you from before you came out of the womb, as they were cartilages forming bone. And becoming stronger and stronger as you grew and grew and grew and grew, and you went up. You grew up. You're growing up still. The light's descending, helping you to grow up, yet remain and maintain understanding of self here. And what you're going to find out, a lot of beings have this thing about this ego thing. Well, the ego is necessary, it's required. So you have an idea of what you're thinking something. But the ego is really what is called the privilege of a self. You've got one, you've got one, you've got one, you've got one. You have a privilege given by the divine, number one. Everyone does. Of a self. It's up to you what you do with it. And you're totally under the jurisdiction of God in that one. And the more you align, the more the self is understanding self, purposeful, meaning. That's what's going on today in your world. You're going through a process of reclaming yourselves. separating, well, even your consciousness physical getting it. You're separating your recyclable materials from the stuff that's not you're going to throw away. Everybody knows what recycling is in your consciousness, your world. Well, you're recycling your bodies. That's exactly what you're doing. You get up in the morning and you go to your toilet. You get rid of stuff. You are in a recycle mode. And they had to get you to think of recycling in your planet first, in your local illusionized world, recycling and cleaning, recycling and cleaning. So you'll get it that that's what you're doing interiorly. That's how slow the human condition is. Oh, this is an inner process also. Yes. The monkeys fell out of the trees. Back up. And soon the teaching's coming of what the breath is, how to, where to, when to, which nostril to use when, how to breathe out of your eyes and the heart chakra at the same time, plus the blowhole in your back, plus doing your chakras in the palms of your hand. For rules. Rules. Interior rules. Interior rules. Interior rules. Dignity of self at the great table. The napkin in the proper position, the knife and the fork and the spoon in the proper place, this bowl there, that bowl there, the candles there. This spoon on this side, no one knows what that's for yet. This little knife across the front of the plate, horizontal. You don't touch those right away. You'll be taught. Those are the things you're in the process of learning interiorly. Because you're going to find out you're the one setting the table and inviting the guests who will come. And you'll see whether they appreciate the table or not. That's how you know things. And then you alter. That guest doesn't come. Unless you want them to set your table. And then you have to obey those rules. That's what tables are for. That's why they have them. There's rules around tables. That's why in England this king had a round one. Those were messages. So beings could understand their true self. The Christ identity set a table, invited ones, and the Judas one was there, and he knew it. So be aware. Because there's more than just your physical body and health or wellness that's involved here. You do not want to be caught up in the shame of this thing. You do not. You want peace, protection, and joy, nurturing to ones, and gentleness with yourself. The space that's getting rocky, turn. Move. Because the heart chakras are going to be open. They want to willingly stay open. Because you've been so used to shutting them down. You're going to have to be careful. Because you can get a surprise attack from someone that you think was your friend. Oh. And then you'll say, oh, I should have known. So don't be naive. You've all experienced pretty much, and now what do you do with it? How does your knowledge assist you now? That's the phase you're in. That's the phase everyone is in. You are supposed to know something by now. Peace, protection, and joy. When you contemplate your relatives or anything, health to the body, mind, and spirit. And that body, mind is a tricky phrase. Health to the body, health to the mind, health to the spirit. But there's also health to body, mind, which are the 7 auric layers of you. They pick up the vibration. The body, mind will acknowledge it. Oh, thank you. Because there's a tendency for the auric field to forget. That's what you call the holes in the auric field. Two phases you need to know. If you feel kind of uncomfortable for a moment, shields up. Puts up your shields. And then you say seals. That seals your chakras. Because there are forces in the astral that are trying to come into you. They're all over. They're all over. So gentleness. Gentleness. And if you can, an occasional candle lit at night is always helpful. Always. For the flame is different. The air can talk to the fire, the elemental forces for you. Okay? Give me a moment. Yeah, true.